Hey, good morning. It is Cincy Lifestyle, and we are so glad that you joined us this morning. Clyde, you know what Clyde knows? He's laughing because I am having technical problems today. And look, my necklace is all crooked. And let me see. Trying to figure this out.
If you all remember that scene in Goldfinger where James Bond was handcuffed to the atomic bomb down in the gold vault at Fort Knox, and he had like 60 seconds to get it all worked out, that's what Mona just did. She just worked it all out.
I did.
And it was so funny to listen to. I'm sorry you guys didn't get to hear it. Well, you made it, Mona. No. Good morning.
I'm here. Good morning. And we've got a great show for you today. But let me just tell you, my teleprompter that I got to read from, yeah, it is like down in my lap at this point. Okay, so
there's going to be a lot of this?
It is. It's going to be a lot of looking down. So just bear with me. I know, I appreciate your patience. Hey, this happens with live TV, right, Clyde?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. So I'll take you off the hook here for a minute. What Mona wanted to talk to you about this morning, what we wanted to talk to you about, was something we found recently that we thought was bizarre, and we wanted to show it to you. It's a giant rabbit. And when we say giant, we ain't kidding. This rabbit is 3 years old, and it's called a Continental giant rabbit. Its name is Cocoa Puff. Cocoa Puff weighed 18 and a half pounds. 18 and a half pounds.
Wow.
Now, the nice thing about it was they did manage to litter box train him, because imagine what it would have been like without that. Of course, obviously, he was cage-free, hanging out in the family's home. Cocoa Puff passed away recently, sadly, but not before they were able to get some video of him. Allie found this and made sure she shared with us her find of this brown rabbit. That's Continental giant rabbit. And there is a baby Continental giant rabbit in that family's home now. So there you go.
All right, you did a good job, Clyde.
Did I?
You know what? I actually had a rabbit. It was the first pet we've ever had. My mom brought it home from work, and she didn't work on a farm or anything. She worked for the government. She worked for NIOSH. But I guess either a coworker or someone had this rabbit, and she brought it home for us. And of course, we named it this original name. Yes, Peter. Right, Peter Rabbit.
How about that? See, I would have called mine, if it were me, his name would have been Bugs.
Oh, yeah, that would have been good, too. Yeah, we didn't think of that. But we really loved that rabbit. Eventually, he died, and then we went on to more traditional pets, like a cat and then a dog.
Okay. All right, we're going to stay on the animal team here for just a second or so more, because we found this today, too. Here's a photo taken by police who had been called to a park in Horsham, United Kingdom, because they were told there was a wild animal, an apex predator is how it was described, in that park. So the officers roll up, and this is what they saw. So they got out, and in the words of Elmer Fudd, they slowly approached him, only to find out that it was a stuffed toy. So, what are you going to do?
That's hilarious.
What are you going to do?
All right, forgive my looking down, but you know what? Later on the show, we'll talk about the important role our farmers play. Yes, that's right. But first, as soon as they let me know what this is, we'll roll it up. Okay. What are we going to talk about first? All right. Hey, if you shop at Kroger. All right. This is not going to be our Emmy-winning show, okay? An Emmy Award-winning show, I can just tell you that, but it will have fun, so stay with us. All right. If you shop at Kroger, Jungle Gyms, or find yourself indulging in a sandwich from a local deli, you know what? There's a really good chance that it's come from a company called 16 Bricks Bakery. It's a local bakery that produces some of the freshest bread in town, and Allie went behind the scenes, so check it out.
Behind these pink bricks is home to 16 Bricks, a ride-or-die wholesale artisan bakery that uses only the finest ingredients and the power of science to produce hundreds of loaves a day. And it all started in May of 2011 when the owner Ryan took over and reinvented his parents' bakery after pursuing a career in mechanics. So combine the two, and you get a fine-tuned bakery that produces at a high volume and with a tremendous amount of integrity towards each and every loaf.
I think my relationship with bread is my relationship to the community. It's very much like what goes into it is my ideas and my love and my passion of what we're going to do, and it's forever changing. You know, I remember once upon a time this was like, to me, everything. You know, when I look at the bread and I see the fermentation on the outside of it, I see a little dark and charred pieces. I see some light and undercooked pieces. You know, a nice steady knock to it underneath, like, and just the smell of sourdough bread, of naturally fermented bread, is different than pretty much anything. And I was so super proud of this in our baguette. You know, our baguette has taken me well beyond this city.
I really believe in the product. We don't add artificial preservatives to this stuff, so it's all natural and very healthy for you, and it's really easy on your gut to digest.
From their famous French baguettes and sourdough to their honey whole wheat and quinoa bread, 16 Bricks Bakery has a wide variety to choose from, and they're always experimenting to make that next loaf even better. And every day, these fresh loaves are shipped out around the tri-state to local farmers markets, delis, and even big grocery stores, all while expanding the horizons of our community.
Community is that we support everyone, and everyone supports us. And it's not exclusive, it's anyone's welcome. I'll support anyone, I'll back anybody. And you don't necessarily need to be in Ohio, you know? Community, local, it's more the mindset of being there for others and others being there for me. We get grain from Kentucky. We get grain from Montana, California, you know, Wyoming. A lot of Coruscant comes out of Wyoming.
So know every time you dive into a loaf of 16 Bricks bread, a lot of experimentation and hands went into the making.
It is a labor of love. You don't get into this business because you're going to get rich and make a lot of money. It's all about passion, and every single person here is passionate about the restaurant industry and as general, and it's really fun to see people put their passions into something like this.
All right, so if you are looking to get your hands on some bread from 16 Bricks, you can pick it up you can find their loaves at Jungle Gyms, select Kroger stores, and other places like Blair's, Prime Market, Clifton Natural Foods, and more. Clyde, save me, Clyde.
Michelangelo once said, "Every block of stone has a statue inside it, and it is the task of the sculptor to discover it." Well, our next guest has lived this saying many, many times over, so please join me in welcoming sculptor and artist John Leon. John, thank you so much for being here.
It's my pleasure, Clyde.
So was Michelangelo right?
He was. I oftentimes tell people when they're carving a stone that you just have to take away everything that's not art, which is different way of saying the same thing.
Okay, all right. So how did you get started with this?
I was always artistic as a child growing up. But it was in 10th grade at Walnut Hills High School when I first touched clay and started playing around with it that I really developed a passion for it. So I pursued it as a hobby, and I thought it would be a hobby for my whole life. I pursued other things in college. I was pre-med for a couple of years and then went into respiratory therapy and then nursing, but finally realized I wasn't going to be happy unless I fully followed sculpting. So that's what I decided. In 1980, I made myself a sculptor.
Okay, well, and we've got some of your work here, and what's unique about it is you use a variety of media, I guess is the word. How'd you come about that approach to it?
First, I worked strictly in clay, modeling pieces, building them up. I did that for 10 or 15 years, and then I was encouraged to try carving. And the first time I tried carving, it was just great. With clay work, you're working by building things up out of nothing. With carving, you're going in the opposite direction. You're starting with a block or a log, and you're taking away everything that's not art. You take that away. And the mental approach to that is very different and exciting, and one informs the other. So when I go back and forth, things I do while I'm carving help me think about the way to approach clay work.
You have a number of pieces on display around town. Tell me some of the more prominent ones that people might recognize.
Let's see, there's a, like at Christ Church Cathedral, I did a large wooden bas-relief carving. It's in their Centennial Chapel. And I'm really fond of that piece. It was the subject matter and the location were just, and the people I worked with made it a very moving experience to work on that.
Okay.
So that's one.
Let me dive in a second because we're
Sure.
just about out of time.
Go
So I
ahead.
want to make sure people have the opportunity to get more information on what you do. Where can they find that information?
The easiest way is at johnleon.com. You find my email and my phone number there, and you can sign up for classes from me, or you can commission me to create a portrait bust of your loved ones or people you love and admire, or make a giant abstract sculpture or anything you like. I can do.
All right, you're the man. All right.
Thank you, Clyde.
John Leon, thank you so much for being here
All
with
right, my
us.
pleasure.
Absolutely. Mona?
Well, coming up here on Cincy Lifestyle, it's an ethereal yet beautiful sound. That's right. Genre called shoegaze. Join us and find more about this unique style of music through local band called Slow Glows. And then we'll take you behind the scenes of Cincinnati Magazine's Homegrown edition. We love this edition. The writer behind many of this month's articles will talk to us about the importance of shopping local and why now is the perfect time to try farm to table. That sounds great, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Stay with us.
Thanks for sticking with us, and we've got a question for you. Here it is. How much do you know about our food system here in the tri-state? Well, local publication has committed an entire issue to highlighting restaurants and farms and how they've been forced to change how they do business during this pandemic. And here now to talk with us a little bit more about this is writer Carrie Blackmore Smith, a contributor to Cincinnati Magazine. Carrie, thank you so much for talking with us today.
It's my pleasure. Thanks so much, Clyde.
So let's delve a little bit more into the theme of August's edition of the magazine. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, so about a year and a half ago, I talked to John Fox, the editor of Cincinnati Magazine, about just the growth that I had seen, the accessibility to local food. I'm a home cook myself, and had started to get a CSA a couple of years ago, which is a community-supported agriculture bag of produce. But I live by Findlay Market, and I just noticed that there was a lot available. Almost anything that you'd want. And so we started talking about how the system has changed in the last 5 years, and thought it was a good time to write about. And then when COVID hit, it became even more relevant as people were trying to discern where their food came from and stock up, and these farmers have stepped up in a lot of ways. So it's been really interesting.
So based on your experience and your investigation, you conclude that now is the best time to try shopping locally. Why is that true?
Yeah, so actually the main resource that I use was from the Greater Cincinnati Food Policy Council that is a part of Green Umbrella, which has done a report 5 years ago and then released one last summer, just about how much our system has grown and how it's become better connected. And, it started with some people who wanted to get farmers' food to the restaurants, and has morphed into really a delivery for homes within all of Greater Cincinnati by a lot of these folks that you're seeing these pictures of. These are actual farmers in Cincinnati. So I think it's just become so much more available.
So let's dive in a little bit and talk about some of the farms that you highlight.
Yeah. So I spent a lot of time on farms over the last year. I went out to Emmett Ridge Farm, which is run by Jeremy Boswell and his family. They raise beef and pork and chickens and turkeys, and they sell boxes for $160 a month for 18 pounds of meat. I was out at Turner Farm, which is in Indian Hill, and visited various farms, also some indoor growing facilities that are now doing tomatoes, cucumbers, herbs, lettuces year-round in the area. And all those things are new within the last 5 years.
Okay, so we got a little bit of time left, but I want to point out, first of all, that there's a map associated with your article that can lead people to some great finds in terms of local food. So let's talk a little bit about how people can pick up a copy of the magazine and get that map and your articles.
Yeah, there's 58 places that you can get local food, all kinds of fruits and vegetables and meats, cheeses, breads, all kinds of things. But you can pick up Cincinnati Magazine at your local grocer or bookstore, or visit CincinnatiMagazine.com, and all the stories, including a seasonal list of what you can buy throughout the year, locally grown, are all there in the magazine. And it's a really exciting edition, which I loved working on.
Well, we certainly appreciate your enthusiasm and dedication to the work, and we'll profit from that by checking it out and eating well locally. Carrie, thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Happy to. Mona?
Well, rock legend Keith Richards once said, music is a language that doesn't speak in particular words, it speaks in emotions. And a local band, Slow Blows, definitely evokes that in their unique sound. WCPO Lounge Acts host Brian Deese recently met up with the band at the Northside Yacht Club. Take a listen.
You guys are a shoegaze band.
Yes.
For the uninitiated, explain what that genre is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the name of that genre. I think I don't know. But pretty much what that is to me, it's like rock music that has kind of a dreamy, spacey element to it. And by that, it's, lots of use of effects pedals to get kind of that, like, ambient, otherworldly kind of element. But I still, what's different about what we do is that we still write songs in, the normal kind of way and just add that to it. But it was, I'm very inspired by lots of bands from the 90s of that time, My Bloody Valentine, Slow Dive, bands of that nature that were kind of like, the best way I would describe it is it was kind of like a rock music, but in an introverted sense.
You had a release show, and you're about to go on this fabulous tour, and your lives got interrupted like all of ours did with COVID-19. Tell me that story.
Yeah, absolutely. So the song Sigh, we had that one written last year, and it was one that we had written after we recorded the full album, and we were just like, we really like this song, so we still wanted to record it anyways, but decided to release it as a single. So we went through the process of that, and then we had a release show for it on March 6th, which, as all of you know, is right at the beginning of the shutdowns and the quarantine and all of that. So shortly after that, everything happened, but that was our tour kickoff as well.
Right.
And Rachel and I had spent several months booking a tour. We were going out west for the first time, actually, to Texas and back. So we did go 2 dates into that and then had to turn around, which was kind of a bummer, but everyone's in the same boat with it. It was that's just how it had to be.
We're getting creative with how to stay relevant, I guess, during this. So we missed out on that tour, but maybe there'll be something in the future. We'll see.
You've also got an LP out as well. Tell me about the LP.
Yeah, so the LP we released in August of last year, and that was our debut album, actually. So those were, the songs we'd been playing live here in Cincinnati for the past, I guess
probably 2 years.
Yeah, so that was just kind of like a compilation of all the songs we'd written over the past Well, since we started the band, really, and we recorded it here in Northside at Mount Saturn, and mixed it in the analog studio at Mount Saturn, and kind of took that approach with it, and it's got a warm vintage kind of sound to it, and it just turned out how we wanted it to be. So we were really happy with that. It was called Stargaze Rock and Roll.
And I understand you're going to go back to Mount Saturn for the follow-up recording, right?
Yeah, we're in the midst of almost being done with writing for the second record, so we're planning to record that next month.
If somebody wanted to get that, where would they go?
Well, you can listen to it online on Spotify. It's on there if you just want to stream it for free. We also have a Bandcamp page where you can buy the LP if you'd like to, and we just got CDs as well right before our March tour, so we've got a couple different formats you can listen to it in, so feel free to check it out.
I like it. I feel better just listening to it already. We'll be back with more Cincy Lifestyle on the other side of the break. Plus, be sure to check us out on Instagram. We post all kinds of behind-the-scenes pictures from here on the set, and while we're hanging out safely in the community. So follow us on Instagram at Cincy Lifestyle. Stick around. We'll be right back. Quick look outside, high in the upper 80s today, sunny now, but clouds are supposed to build in, possibly some afternoon thunderstorms with some strong wind gusts possible, so be prepared for that. That is Cincy Lifestyle for this Monday, July 27th. Mona, great job handling all of that adversity over there. We're going to have people call in the way they just saw to tell us what a great job you did. All righty. So thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you get out and make it a great day.
Thanks for watching our video. If you liked what you saw, hit that subscribe button. You can also check out full episodes of the show you've never seen before, or watch your favorites again and again. And as always, make it a great day.